Nevada auto insurance requirements are easy to meet and also easy to misunderstand. You can be fully legal, carry exactly what the state asks for, hand the officer a valid card on the side of the road, and still be one bad afternoon away from a financial problem you'll carry for years. That gap between what's legal and what actually protects you is what I want to walk through with you today. If you don't know who I am, my name's Jim Eddington, and my agency helps individuals and businesses with their insurance every single day. So when I talk about the state minimum, I'm not reading it off a website. We write these policies, we see the claims, and we see what happens when the limits run out. Here's what Nevada actually requires to drive legally. The state minimum is written as three numbers, 25, 50, 20. You'll see it as the 25/50/20. That first number, 25,000, is bodily injury for one person you hurt in an at-fault accident. The second number, 50,000, is the total bodily injury coverage for everyone hurt in that accident. The third number, 20,000, is property damage. The other person's car, their fence, whatever you damaged that wasn't yours. Every vehicle registered in Nevada has to carry at least that. It's set in state law, and it's still 25, 50, 20 in 2026. One thing that's worth knowing is those minimums used to be lower. Nevada raised them back in 2018 because medical and repair costs had climbed past what the old limits could absorb. They went up for a reason, and costs have only kept climbing since. The state minimum has a blind spot most drivers never think about, and it's worth saying out loud. Every one of those three numbers pays for the other person. Liability coverage covers the people you hurt and the property you damage, and it'll defend you if you're sued. What it won't do is pay for your side of the wreck. Your car, not covered by liability. Your own injuries, not covered. Your own passengers' medical bills, those aren't paid by your liability limits either. So if you carry only the state minimum and you cause a serious wreck, the law considers you covered. But your own truck in the shop and your own trip to the emergency room are entirely on you. That's the first thing to understand. Legal and protected are two different things. Here's where the state minimum limits get dangerous. They're easier to hit than people expect. Picture a normal afternoon, you glance down, you drift a little bit, and you rear end the car stopped in front of you. Two people are inside. Both go to the hospital. One has a real injury, surgery, a few nights admitted, physical therapy after. A serious injury in a hospital today can easily run well past $25,000 on its own. Now look at your limits, $25,000 per person. That first injured person alone can blow through it. And here's the part people miss. Each of those three numbers stands on its own. The $50,000 per accident number doesn't rescue you when one person's bill passes 25. The per person limit caps first. You can have room left on the total and still be maxed out on the individual. And the car you hit plus anything else you damaged, that comes out of the 20,000 property number. One newer vehicle can pass that by itself. When the policy limits are gone, the bills don't stop. The people you hurt can come after you personally for what's left, your savings, and potentially other assets, and a chunk of your future wages. And remember what we said earlier, none of this covers your own car or your own injuries or your passengers. So in that same wreck, you could be maxed out on what you owe the other driver and still be paying for your own totaled vehicle and your own hospital visit out of pocket. The minimum was protecting them the whole time. It was never protecting you. Carrying the coverage is one piece. Nevada also expects you to be able to prove it, and the rules there are stricter than people expect. Your policy has to be written for Nevada. An out-of-state policy doesn't satisfy a Nevada registration, even if the coverage looks identical on paper. If you've just moved here, that's one of the first things to square away. You also have to keep proof of insurance with you, in the car or on your phone. Nevada lets you show a digital card, but keep a backup. If your battery dies and you can't show it, you can still be cited even when you're fully covered. And at least one name on the registration needs to match a named insured on the policy. And the VIN has to match too. That trips people up with shared or family cars more often than you'd think. It's worth a quick check that the names actually line up. There's a coverage Nevada cares about enough to make every insurer offer it, and a lot of drivers don't realize they may already have it. It's called uninsured and underinsured motorist coverage, UM and UIM for short. This one protects you and your passengers for injuries when the other driver is the problem. More than 1 in 10 Nevada drivers are estimated to be on the road with no insurance at all. If one of them causes a serious crash and hurts you, their non-existent policy pays you nothing. And that's exactly when uninsured motorist coverage steps in. If the other driver has some insurance but not nearly enough, that's where underinsured motorist picks up to your limits. Nevada doesn't force you to buy it, but state law does require your insurer to offer it and to get you to actually decline it in writing. So if you never signed a rejection, there's a real chance it's already on your policy. That's worth checking. For a state where a good share of drivers carry nothing, this is one of the most important coverages you can have. And it's the one most likely to get overlooked. Letting your Nevada coverage lapse even briefly is its own kind of expensive, and the state catches it automatically. Nevada verifies insurance electronically. Your carrier reports your coverage to the DMV so a lapse can get flagged even if you're pulled over. And Nevada has no grace period for that. A short gap can suspend your registration and trigger reinstatement fees that climb with the length of the lapse. And a lapse of 91 days or more can land you a 3-year SR22 requirement, a certificate your insurer files with the state to prove you're covered. If you ever need to drop insurance on a car, you're selling it, you're storing it, cancel the registration and surrender the plates first. Don't just stop paying. In Nevada, that turns into a paperwork and money problem fast. If the state minimum leaves you this exposed, the natural question is, what should you actually carry? Here's how I think about it. The minimum is a floor, not a recommendation. So when you carry 25, 50, 20 and nothing more, all you've really done is agree to absorb the rest of the risk yourself. Higher liability limits are often one of the best values in insurance. Going from the minimum to something more realistic often costs far less per month than people assume, because severe at-fault claims are relatively rare. But when one hits, the difference is enormous. You're buying a lot of protection for a small amount of premium, which is exactly the trade insurance is supposed to make. The right number isn't the same for everyone. It scales to what you have to protect. If you own a home, have savings, have income a lawsuit could reach, you want limits that match what's actually at risk. A renter with not much in the bank and a homeowner with real equity are answering two different questions. Then there's covering your own side. Collision and comprehensive pay for your vehicle. Uninsured motorist covers you when the other driver can't. And if you've got real assets, an umbrella policy extends your liability protection well above your underlying auto limits. On the deductibles for collision and comprehensive, my general thinking is to carry the highest deductible you could comfortably write a check for tomorrow without it hurting. Insurance is there for the loss you genuinely couldn't absorb on your own, not the small one you're better off keeping. A higher deductible there usually lowers your premium and frees up room to buy the liability limits that actually matter. I'm not telling you to buy the most expensive policy on the shelf, but what I am telling you is to make this a decision instead of an accident. Look at the number, understand what it does and doesn't do, and choose on purpose. If you want to understand why these numbers matter even more in this state, we did a whole video on why Nevada has some of the most expensive car insurance in the country, and it's on the channel. Here's the one thing I'd leave with you. The state minimum answers one question. What does Nevada require to let you drive? It was never built to answer the question that actually matters. What happens to you and your family if you cause a serious accident? Those are two different numbers. Most people only ever look at the first one. The afternoon you find out the difference is the worst possible time to learn it. If you're not sure what you're carrying right now, pull your declarations page, look at those three numbers, and ask whether they'd hold up in a real accident. If you'd rather have someone walk you through it with you, that's what we're here for. You can get a quote or a coverage review using the link below. We're an independent agency based here in Nevada, and we help drivers in Arizona, Utah, and California too. Because we work with a lot of carriers, we can shop your coverage to find the best fit for your situation, not just the cheapest number on the page. Subscribe to the channel. We publish most business days, and what we cover is for individuals, families, and business owners who want to understand their insurance before they need it, not after. Thanks for watching.